Hi friends, welcome to My Divorce Real Estate. I'm Amber Gifford and this is my husband and teammate Scotty Gifford. Today we're here to talk about, in a divorce situation, if you're going to keep the house and what risks that entails.
Yeah, because your house is your largest asset, and we want to we want to reduce the risk associated with keeping that house, or if we can, and we want to make sure if you do keep the house, you're okay with accepting those risks.
A lot of times you don't realize what you're getting into when you're going through a divorce because of the emotional aspect of it. So we want to just make you knowledgeable so you can understand that there are risks that are involved that could affect you negatively for years to come. Because our whole goal is to help you maintain that good credit standing and eligibility to buy another home again.
Yeah, because likely this won't be the home that you keep forever. Even if you are deciding to keep the home in a divorce situation, you might say, hey, you might be moving in a year's time frame anyways, after accepting all the risk associated with keeping the house in the first place.
So in a divorce situation, if you're going to keep the house, one of the things you need to think about is my home insurable?
Yes, and that could be from too many past claims associated with the home. Usually if you have more than a few claims, usually 3 is where a lot of insurance companies are going to say, nope, we're not going to make that insurable. But sometimes it's something as simple as the roof. We've had the property is changing names, and when we had a situation where the roof just it's been intact, it's been there, but for some reason the insurance company is going to say, hey, I'm not going to insure this home when it's changing ownerships, because the roof isn't in a good shape, and they're not going to take on that risk associated with you keeping the home.
How would you find out about past claims?
So past claims, one of the things we talk about, is a lot of people don't know about, is the CLUE report, which is a free
comprehensive underwriting report. So you can find out about any claims that you may have, because maybe you're like me going, well, I don't know what claims are. I didn't even know I was getting a divorce, and now all of a sudden this is happening. Like, where do I find this info? So it is a free report, and we can show you at the bottom of the screen how to get that.
Yeah, we'll put that down and below where you can get your free CLUE report. It's kind of like your credit report. You're able to get one every so often. So but the next thing we're going to talk about is the mechanical liens.
Ooh, that's a big one.
So most people might not even know what a mechanical lien is, but a mechanical lien essentially is someone did some work on your property. Maybe they did a fence for you. Maybe they did some foundation repair.
Pool.
Maybe they put the pool in, and you didn't fully pay that contractor.
And they put a mechanic lien on your house. And then you go to sell your house because you're getting a divorce, and guess who has to pay that? And guess where that money comes from? And then it's split down between you and your soon-to-be ex.
Yeah, could it be something simple as home alarm systems that are not paid for too? So there's just a whole laundry list of items you need to check for those, and we can help you out with that.
So insurance, mechanic liens, and then another big one is the actual loan. It's a huge risk depending upon you're keeping this house now. Can I afford to buy out my spouse? And what does that look like and mean to me financially today, tomorrow, and next year?
Yeah, and then so the loan is going to be a big one, because a lot of people think about, hey, well, the mortgage is stay the same, and I'll just take it over, and that's not going to go up in cost at all. But what really is going to happen, if you're going to be keeping the home, your spouse is going to want some of that equity associated, because usually that is the largest asset, and it's where we have most of our money tied up. So they're going to want their half and not just walk away without their money.
So if you're the house spouse and keeping the house, you have to get loan approval to be able to buy out your spouse, because your mortgage payment and your loan amount does go up, like Scotty said. And therefore you have to have the income and be able to be approved by a lender. And we do recommend going through a divorce specialist lender who specializes in divorce.
Yeah, so if that's something you're thinking about keeping the house, then definitely reach out to us, and we can get you connected to those lenders that can help you. And on the website, thegiffordgroup.net, we have the divorce buyout calculator that will show you how much equity you have in your home. If you do know the value of the home, which obviously we can help you with, and we'll talk about here in a minute, but also how much equity is in the home if you're choosing to sell, or if you're choosing to buy your spouse out, how much that loan would be post-divorce.
So loan is huge. It's all encompassing. There's many factors that go into that. So we talked about insurance, mechanic liens, the loan, and then now another one that most people don't think about, which is going to be the condition of the property, which also is extremely important because most judges and attorneys are like, oh, you need to get an appraisal done on your home. But an appraisal has gaps in it that can affect you negatively that doesn't take into account the deferred maintenance in the home.
Or the title search, which goes back to the mechanical liens, if you had any of those liens associated with it. So deferred maintenance could include, hey, the AC, have you had it serviced, or is it leaking, or is it just old? I think the average lifespan of most ACs is 15 years, but even in brand new AC, you could have problems that blow out if they haven't been serviced. I think we had something serviced last year, and next year blew out again. So, but then also the foundation is a huge one, especially if your home's a little bit older. Plumbing.
So there's always components that go into a home to make it run smoothly, and there always are things that are breaking, as you know, if you own a home. Doesn't matter if it's new construction or not. Deferred maintenance is something that we always check into. We always recommend a pre-inspection with an inspector so we can find out how how is the home, the plumbing, just the major components of it, so we know that it's working right. Because if there is something that needs to be serviced and you're keeping it, who's going to be paying for that? How are we going to, if we have to sell the house, even like who pays for that repair? So those are things that need to be talked about and discussed and uncovered so you're aware of what's going on with your house, knowing that it affects your bottom line of your equity when you're dividing it. So far it's been insurance, mechanics liens, loans, the condition.
And then one of the last ones we'll probably talk about is the value of the home itself, because we think, okay, that shouldn't be a hard one to figure out. But in the last year, we've seen home prices increase 20% here in Houston. So just using your tax, assessment, we'll choose that number, or we'll just go and look at Zillow, or we'll just go, or it could just be anything else like, hey, well, my friend's house on the way sold for this X, Y, or Z. So what we can actually do for you is provide you a complimentary comparative market analysis for you, which will show the actual home sales prices, which will take into account whether they paid for title, or if they paid for additional closing cost, or if there was any repairs that were paid for. And so it actually shows you what the true value of the home is, and we do that. We run CMAs all the time, so we're happy to help with that.
Yep. So also title is something to consider too. And a lot of times if you haven't been involved in the bill paying, or you're not aware of when you purchased your home, are you on the note? Are you on the deed? These are all things that we need to uncover and find out so it doesn't affect you negatively when that house does go to sell, or if you choose to buy it out, and what we need to do to make that happen to buy out your spouse so you can keep the home, what documents need to be filled out, and making sure there's no clouded title. So what are the things we talked about?
So is a home insurable? Are there any mechanical liens? What's the loan situation? Am I going to be able to buy out my spouse? Can I afford to keep the home post buyout? What's the condition of the property? What's the value of the home? And am I on the note or the deed, or both, or not? Neither? Were we married when we purchased this property? Is it separate property? Is it community property? So those are all questions that we can help you walk through, and what our goal is to help remove those risks.
Because they're risks, all of them. You might not have thought of some of them before, but they're all risks. We want to remove the fear and learn the facts about those.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, very good.
It's very good. So if you have any questions, you can read more about us at thegiffordgroup.net. If you need a free divorce resource, you're just beginning your journey, you can get that at mydivorcerealestate.com. And as always, Scotty and I are here to bring you real life experiences and your real estate needs. Thanks. See you next time.